Silvermine Mountains straddle the border between Limerick and Tipperary and provide a spectacular setting for this year's Treaty Plant Hire Limerick Forest Rally, the rescheduled second round of the Valvoline Motorsport Ireland Forest Rally Championship.
Storm Emma had her say for round 2 of the Valvoline Motorsport Ireland National Forestry Championship. This event was set to take place here a few weeks ago, but it had to be postponed due to the unprecedented snow. A superb effort from clerk of the course Kieran Ambrose and his team in the Limerick Motor Club got this event back on track, and we have a fantastic day's rallying ahead, all set to the beautiful backdrop of the Silver Mines. Andrew Purcell had the dream start to his championship as he took the top step of the podium in Carrick-on-Shore. But it's very early days in this competitive championship, and with over 90 crews ready to do battle here, the forestry is one of the most exciting events on the rallying calendar.
Not quite the beastly conditions that caused this event to be postponed. A dense freezing fog greeted the crews on the morning of the rally. But with the sun doing its best to lift the haze, drivers were confident of a clear day ahead.
Andrew, leading the championship after round 1, a sensational start.
Yeah, no, Carrick went well with a couple of problems on the day, but it all worked out in the end. So we're here for round 2. It's a nice bright day, so we're looking forward to it.
Josh, it's your third consecutive week behind the wheel. You're certainly match ready.
Yeah, definitely. We were in West Cork last weekend and Mayo the weekend before. So yeah, I think we should be well used to the car at this stage anyway.
Defending two-wheel drive champion David Crossan was looking to get his season off the mark after a disappointing retirement on the first stage of the opening round in Carrick-on-Shore.
Yeah, just a bit of bad luck, and what annoyed me most, I didn't get any miles in the car. It was halfway through the first stage, so very frustrating, but it happens, you know, these things happen. So hopefully a better run today.
Let's take a look at the stages now, and there were 4 tests, each run twice, with Keeper Hill the highest peak of the Silvermines range starting off proceedings. Kernaneen was next, with servicing afterwards at the Old Mogul Mine before the crews tackled 2 new stages at Ara Mountain and Ballyhourigan. As expected, the spring sun burned off the early morning frost and fog to leave conditions ideal for the start of the first stage. Quickest out of the blocks was Andrew Purcell in the PM Rally Hire Fiesta R5.
2 right 40 off, fast 3 right, 250 up the middle, long 1 right at the top, tightens 2 right, he's long 1 right at the top and tightens to long 4, 30 fast 4 right, 30 fast 4 right, 200 up the middle, right into 4 left off gate, right into 4 left.
The Tipperary driver was fastest by 6.3 seconds on the opener, but he blotted his copybook on stage 2 when he ran headlong into a chicane bale, causing some damage to the front of the Fiesta and seeing his lead cut to less than a second. Second to Purcell was Barry McKenna. The New York-based Monaghan driver had a fine drive across the morning stages, and despite a spin on stage 3, he was right on the heels of the rally leader, just 0.9 of a second of a margin.
4 left here, 80. 5 left and 5 right. 5 left and 5 right, 100. Up to a 5 left continues for 170. 5 left continues for 170 and turn 1 right, don't cut.
Fellow Monaghan man Josh Moffat wasn't happy with his opening stage and lay 17 seconds off the pace back in third. He put it down to testing out new tyres, but he set 2 fastest times over the next few stages to trail McKenna by just 3 seconds at the halfway point. Switching from a Group N Mitsubishi to a Citroën DS3 for the 2018 season, Cathal McCourt was hoping for better luck than his non-finish at the last round. The Tyrone driver was very much on a learning curve in the new car and was happy to hold fourth for now, albeit over 50 seconds off the pace setters up front.
And it's right over bumps into long 5 left over bumps. Actually tight 4 right over crest, it's okay. And fast 4 left over crest, okay. 40, long 5 left, nips over crest, it's okay, 40, crest into 4 right in.
Newcomer to the Forests this year, Stephen McCann took an impressive third overall at the opening round, but was disappointed with a sluggish start in his Fiesta S2000 here in Limerick. 7th after stage 1, he was up to 5th after stage 4, 7.9 seconds off McCourt. Home from Australia to contest the Forestry Championship, Pádraig Duffy had been trailing McCann in Class 5, but mechanical trouble saw him retire his Fiesta R5 after stage 2.
We're not having a great morning. Out on the first stage, got a puncture and about 3k into it, and then the second stage we've broken the diff in half, so our day is over.
Oh no, that's not the best start back to forestry. Could we lure you back another time?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, no, I don't give up that easy. I have Barry McKenna here, who's a cousin of mine. I have to try and catch him.
Barry, refueling here, it's definitely necessary. A bit of a off there in the last one.
Yeah, we spun actually on the third stage, so we had to click reverse and back ourselves out of it. But other than that, now we were going well through it. So looking forward to these new stages now. So hopefully we can get a good clean run over them.
Holding 6th overall and leading Class 20 at the halfway point was Cork crew Ger Lucy and JJ Kremen in the Mitsubishi Evo 8. Just a fraction of a second back in 7th, David Crossan was leading the two-wheel drive contingent by over 25 seconds in his 2-litre Escort Mark II. His new partnership with Aileen Kelly on the notes working well on their first proper run together. Paul Britton and Liam McIntyre were leading Group N in the Subaru M12B, but they certainly weren't running away with it as Conor McCourt and Caolan McKenna were just 2.4 seconds behind in their Mitsubishi Evo 9. Monaghan crew Michael Carbon and Conor Mohan were 10th overall and 2nd in Class 20 in their older model Evo 4. Second to David Crossan in the two-wheel drive battle, Mickey Conlon was trailing by 6 places in the overall standings and more concerned with some of the other two-wheel drive machines behind him. Such as the Toyota starlet of Shane McGurr, who was having a mixed event but was still only 0.3 of a second off Conlon. A further 6 seconds back was the Escort of John Gordon. The battle between these three would go right to the end. In the junior class, there was disappointment for opening round winner James Wilson. The 2017 R2 Tarmac champion put his Peugeot 208 off the road on the first stage and eventually retired. 12th overall after the opener, Marty Gallagher dropped to 17th by the end of stage 4. But the Donegal driver still led the junior class by 20 seconds in his 208 R2. Second to Gallagher was Derek Mackrell in the Vauxhall Nova. Not quite as high spec or reliable a machine, one has to imagine that the Monaghan driver could do with an R2 car under his feet.
Tight 4 right, into 6 left over crest, 80. Right on crest, into fast 3 left. And care, very long 4 right, over crest, downhill and narrows. Into 6 left, 150.
Cork crew John Sullivan and Padraig O'Donovan were just 3.9 seconds off Mackerel in their Ford Fiesta R2.
And long 5 right over crest, into long 5 left over crest, 80, 5 left, 130, 5 left 130, crest, and crest again, into 6 left over crest.
2017 Group N champions Jordan Hull with father Paul on the notes switched to an Opel Adam R2 to contest the 2018 junior class. And after a disappointing non-finish at the opening round, the pair were happy to get some stage miles under their belt in the new machine. They were 4th after 4 stages.
For 130, okay, 100.
There was healthy competition in the junior division with plenty of young upcoming talent on show, such as Jody McManus holding 5th in the Fiesta R2. Johnny Mulholland has been showing steady improvement in his similar machine, but sadly steering rack issues brought an end to his rally on stage 3. Here's 2017 Tarmac Junior champion Jenna McCann in her Fiesta R2. She held 7th in the juniors, and it would take time for her to adjust her driving style to suit gravel stages.
There's your one right, over the crest, go 80 over the bumps. And right on the crest jumps here, right on the crest jump for a one left over crest jump. Over one left over crest jump, 40 for two right. See the two right there, go 60.
Forest rallying is a great place to start off in motorsport, and here's one young lady we might see competing in the future. Rally leader Andrew Purcell's young daughter, an interested onlooker for now. Perhaps one day she might follow Aoife Gahan's footsteps into the J1000 class for 15 to 19-year-olds.
The J1000s, it's a great initiative to get people into it.
Yeah, it's great. Like, it's the entry, everything. It's really cost effective, and like everyone, it helps at that age group, and anyone looking to do it, I'd highly recommend it. It's a great crack.
4th in class after stage 1, Aoife and navigator Mairead Doohan pushed hard on their Chevrolet Spark over the next 3 stages to overtake newcomers Rory Byrne and John Burke in the Peugeot 107. Rory had been 2nd but slipped to 4th at the halfway point. The battle for the top spot in the J1000 class was between 2 more Peugeot 107s, with Scottish visitor Peter Beaton trailing Jason Murphy by 36 seconds after 4 stages. Defending champion Murphy looking dominant again after taking the opening round in Carrick. Back at the head of the field, it was Andrew Purcell who led a tight battle for overall honours. But with half the rally still to come, it was still all to play for at the Treaty Plant Hire Limerick Forest Rally.
Andrew Purcell certainly hasn't lost his flair from round 1. He's continuing his lead here for round 2 of the Valvoline Motorsport Ireland National Forestry Championship. Lots more forestry action to come after the break.
Welcome back to part 2 of the Treaty Plant Hire Limerick Forest Rally, taking place in the scenic Silvermine Mountains. The crews were ready to tackle 2 new stages, and it was thumbs up so far from rally leader Andrew Purcell in the Fiesta R5. Purcell increased his lead to 4.8 seconds after stage 5, but there was misfortune on stage 6 when the Fiesta suffered a puncture and damaged a wheel. He lost over 40 seconds and dropped to 3rd place with 2 stages to go.
100, flooded west, fast 4 left, 150, very long one right, very long one right, and middle of a small flat crest, into long one, flat one right, don't cut, 50, long 3 right, tight to 4, okay, 120, 2 right past the lane, 4, 5, 2 right past the lane, by tight to 3.
Gaining confidence in his new tyres, Josh Moffat took full advantage of Purcell's puncture, setting 2 fastest times to move into the overall lead by 14 seconds. It would be a tall order to reel in the former champion on the last 2 tests. No problems for Barry McKenna and Leon Jordan over stages 5 and 6. They saw Purcell slip behind into 3rd, while Moffat leapfrogged into the top spot, but they'd be happy to maintain 2nd place and get to the finish.
2 left, 4 left, at the 3 on the left, tightens 2 left, 4, tightens 2 left, 4 up here now, 4, and the 6 left go. 6 left here go 40, and 5 left continues and tightens for 80. That's the 5 left here continues and tightens for 80. 40 to a sudden hairpin right over bump.
Sadly, Michael Carbon would not make it to the finish as his ageing Mitsubishi limped off the start line of stage 6 into retirement. To the final run over the 2 afternoon stages now, where there were some heavy downpours to dampen the spirits of the spectators a little. As we turn to the various classes now, and taking the honours in Class 1 were Tommy Cudahy and Conor Flynn in the Honda Civic. Cork crew Martin O'Brien and Brian McCarthy took the Class 2 win in their Citroën C2 R2 Max. After an impressive debut rally, winning Class 9 at the opening round, Lee Bracken didn't have it all his own way in Limerick. The Mullingar driver oversteered his Honda Civic into a ditch at stage 1. In front of the cameras, he's often operating. But with a little help from family and friends, he was soon back on his way to take third in class. Second in class went to Dean Humphrey and Nicky Brennan, who scored maximum points for the Class 9 division, as winners on the day Noel Lappin and Tony McGovern aren't registered for the championship. In Class 10, Pearse Doheny and Ailish Dunn did some off-roading in their Opel Corsa en route to second place. Mike Garahy took the class win, with Owen McCarthy navigating in the Escort Mark II. A hotly contested Class 11F battle saw Stuart McLean and Johnny Holdsworth settle for the runner-up spot in their Vauxhall Nova, just 2.7 seconds behind winners Rory Maguire and Grace O'Brien in the Vauxhall Corsa. Tipperary crew James Dunphy and Shane Gaisley won Class 11R in their tail-happy Toyota Corolla. There was a tight tussle for Class 12 honours, with Rory McCaffrey and Lauren Kelly just missing out on the top spot by 1.3 seconds to class winners Emmett Cronin and Seamus McTighe in their chicane-bashing Mark II.
You have a 2 right, and caution, long 3 left into 5 left. Long 3 left into 5 left. 3 left into 5 left, long 3 into a 5 left. 60 out of it for a fast 4 right in.
Jason Murphy held out to take another commanding win of the J1000 class, with his uncle Matthew Murphy navigating once again in the 107.
Jason, 2 for 2 in the J1000. What an amazing start to your championship.
Yeah, we had a very good day today. We really enjoyed it. We had a hard last stage there. We'd been to Wishbone not far into the stage, so we dropped a lot of time, but luckily got away with the win.
In the junior class, Marty Gallagher and Dean O'Sullivan took the win, and in fact were 4th quickest two-wheel drive crew, finishing 12th overall.
Marty, you led from the very start, a sensational result.
It was good to get it now. We had a stream of bad luck here for a long time, so it's good to get finished and a good result now at the end of the day. Happy.
Third two-wheel drive and 11th overall was a 2.5 litre Escort of Mickey Conlon and Kieran McPhillips. There was disappointment for John Gordon and Thomas Wedlock, who had been second in the two-wheel drive standings, but retired their Escort on the ultimate stage. No problems on the final loop for Shane McGurr and Eamon Hayes, who took 10th overall and second in the two-wheel drive battle in their 2-litre Starlet. But taking a convincing win in the two-wheel drive section were David Crossan and Aileen Kelly, who finished 8th overall in their 2-litre Escort.
We got the jump on everyone this morning, and then we just managed to lead from the rest of the day and sort of cruise through the last 4 stages.
And Aileen, it's a new team now, yourself and David together, you're calling the notes. How's it been going for you?
Good, yeah, it was kind of disappointing that we didn't get finishing the last rally, but no, I think it's working well, so hopefully.
To the 4-wheel drive classes now, and taking the Class 15 honours were Niall Turley and Andrew Wedlock in the Subaru Impreza. Taking home the Class 7 trophy in the Subaru Impreza were John Mulholland and Adrian O'Connor. Paul Britton and Liam McIntyre started the final loop holding 7th overall and leading Group N, but they retired on the penultimate stage. Conor McCourt and Caelan McKenna had to settle for 3rd in Class 4 and 23rd overall. Stephen Dixon and Tommy Hayes brought their Evo 9 to 2nd in class and 19th overall. But taking the Group N win on home soil were PJ O'Connor and Anthony Nestor, who were 14 seconds ahead in 18th overall.
5 left, sudden hairpin right. 200.
There was plenty of competition in the Class 20 division, and taking 6th place were Paul McCann and Paddy Plunkett in the Skoda Fabia. Ashley Dixon and Graham Henderson were 5th in class and 15th overall in the Mitsubishi Evo 9. Cork-based Polish crew Lukas Szapnik and Peter Zadkowski brought their pristine Subaru Impreza to 4th in class and 13th overall. John Burns and James Lowry took 3rd in class and 9th overall on their local rally.
40 go for a 4 right go. 4 right go into a 6 right down for 130 go. 6 right down for 130 now. 100 go for another 6 right and a 6 left. 46 left in at the trees plus a 4 right.
Donald Sweeney and Stephen O'Hanlon took the runner-up spot in Class 20 and finished 7th overall in their Evo 6.
6 right plus, 130 straight, then care, C, 4 right in, slowing. There, come on, it's fairly quick there, wait, alright. 3 right here now.
But taking another Class 20 win and 6th overall were Ger Lucy and JJ Kremen in the Evo 8. After early mechanical trouble in the Fiesta R5, Enda McCormick and Colin Fitzgerald stuck to it to take 3rd in Class 5. Stephen McCann and Kane Traynor brought their Fiesta S2000 to 2nd in class and 5th overall. 20 seconds ahead in 4th was the Citroen DS3 of Cahan McCourt and Brian Hoy, who won the Class 5 trophy for their efforts.
Crash through the gate. Oh, crash through the gate to 40 after for turn 2 left.
To the overall podium finishers now, and having led for most of the day, that Stage 6 puncture cost Andrew Purcell and Mark Wiley the overall lead. And despite setting fastest times on the final 2 stages, they had to settle for 3rd overall to add to their opening round win. Barry McKenna took his 2nd runner-up spot in a row, a solid start to the championship for himself and navigator Leon Jordan. But once Josh Moffat took over the lead in Stage 6, there was no relinquishing it. And he and navigator Stephen Thornton held on to win by almost 14 seconds in the end.
Josh, you've your eye well and truly on the championship, I would imagine.
Yeah, without a doubt. I suppose we've had a bad first round of the championship, and then the win today definitely is putting us back on track. So, yeah, Moonraker's next, so hopefully we can do the same again.
So, after being postponed due to heavy snow earlier in the year, the Champagne Corks finally popped at the end of the Limerick Forest Rally. And event sponsor Gary Reedy of Treaty Plant Hire was delighted with the efforts of the clerk of the course, Kieran Ambrose, and his team at Limerick Motor Club.
They had a bit of a knockback there a few weeks ago with the weather and stuff like that, but they were still able to start things out, and fair play to them. You know, I think it's a testament to the club and to all the people that are involved.
So there's confirmation of the final results, and after 2 rounds, it's Andrew Purcell who leads by a single point from Barry McKenna, with Stephen McCann in 3rd, Ger Lucy 4th, and Josh Moffat up to 5th after that win.
Andrew Purcell led for the majority of the day, but a puncture on Stage 6 allowed Josh Moffat to capitalise on his misfortune, and Josh takes the win here for round 2 of the Valvoline Motorsport Ireland National Forestry Championship. Join us next time we head to the Moonraker. We'll see you then.